How were the rules for this tournament determined?
Basically what we did is we tried to model this tournament after other tournaments so that folks would be pretty familiar with the way it worked. It's pretty much just an NCAA kind of basketball round-robin tourney setup. We wanted to make it fair, and so we tried to have people not play against their friends right off the bat. We try to mix it up a little bit. Try to make it fairly even as far as the rules within the game. We had everybody battle on the battlefield stage, 4-minute rounds. Everybody had to play with the starting roster on the classic controller. A lot of people are used to playing on the GameCube controller, so we thought, the classic controllers pretty natural fit for that. So those are kind of the stipulations we put on the rules.
Two interesting things I found about the rules were the classic controller and the allowance for items. The diehard kids who are all about, it's got to have nothing be left up to chance. This is all about me being better than you, not you getting an item that helped you win. Was that at all something you were thinking about when you determined the rules?
It certainly was. A lot of thought went into the rules, but again, I think there's so many Smash fans. Obviously Melee was a huge seller for us, and we think Brawl is going to do the same. So we wanted to kind of put it on a level playing field. So certainly there was a lot of players who are used to playing with items on. Certainly there's a lot of players that have never played a Smash game at all. So if we throw some items on, it makes it a little bit easier for those folks. But then also the veteran gamer will know how to use those items as well. So
sure. Which characters have you noted to be the most successful in these tournaments? Have you been keeping track?
I have. Kirby has done really well. Of course, you've got Snake and a lot of people like Olimar. Some of the interesting ones though were ice climbers. A lot of people have been using ice climbers, and was definitely one I didn't expect.
So, what do you make of where Brawl fits in with Nintendo's ongoing evolution as a company and their current reputation for being sort of soft core?
Honestly, I think people need to kind of reevaluate the way they think of hardcore. I don't think you need to have shoot 'em up, blow 'em up games to make it a hardcore game. I think it's all about just strategy that's involved and the tactics that are involved in the game. And, I think Brawl's a perfect example of that. Certainly there's games that definitely tend to, appeal more to the 19, 20-year-old male than, they certainly would, my mom who's, mid-50s. But, I think the one nice thing about Nintendo is we always try to make games that are fun, regardless whether it's for the hardcore or whether it's for the expanded audience.
Right. So depth over, let's say, mature content like heads exploding and picking up hookers. But do you think there is a chance that competitive video gaming could get to a point where it's respected as much at least as something like the WNBA?
I mean, obviously you see the fan turnout today. We probably had about, I'm going to guess probably 500 people show up today. It's about 22 degrees outside, about 8 inches of snow on the ground. Last week we were in San Francisco. It was pouring down rain all day. We had about 700 people show up. The weekend before we were in Los Angeles, and we had about 900 people show up. Wow. So clearly there is a rabid fan base for not only Smash, but for Nintendo in general. There's tournaments all across the country. I think certainly that competitive gaming is definitely becoming more and more popular. You've seen, obviously the media is covering it like crazy. There's TV shows now, mainstream television shows are covering it on regular cable, G4 and, Spike TV now. And I think it's definitely becoming more and more popular. Certainly we've seen that in Japan. We've seen that over in Europe, and I think it's definitely changing a little bit in the United States as well.
How do you think Brawl compares to Melee? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I think they're both, just amazing games. I think the one big difference that you'll see with Brawl is that you can now play online, and that's a huge piece to the game. Definitely going to add some new excitement to the game that folks maybe aren't used to.
This is one you probably can't answer, but I have to ask or else they'd call me a wimp for not asking. Any chance that Brawl will be involved with the upcoming play and pay feature?
I'd love to give you an answer on that right now. I honestly can't. It's definitely something that we're thinking about, but we don't have any announcements today, unfortunately. So.
And if not this game, next game?
Perhaps, maybe. We'll see.
If you take over Nintendo, can you make it happen?
If I take over Nintendo, we'll see what I can do.
Okay, all right. That's as good as I can get. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot.